The best in new comedy, poetry and spoken word. BBC Upload. BBC Upload.
So just now, a brilliant piece from Giles Whitehead in Westmoreland, sketching America, in which he embarked on a 2-month trip across the United States in 1995, travelling by train, bus and tram, recording experiences in sketchbooks, and on his cassette tape recorder as well, all the sounds. We've had so many pieces from Giles on the show, and he joins us now. Giles, lovely for you to join us.
Thanks a lot, Leo. Good to be on the show.
Sketching America, I love it. It's just one of those beautiful travel vignettes that just puts you in the scene, and the way that you've done that is obviously charting it and, of course, getting the sounds as well. It's so incredibly visceral. Give us an idea about why you decided to suddenly just up sticks and embark in 1995 on a travel around America, and why you wanted to record it as well.
I graduated 1992 from art college, and I've been working in a cinema for a few years, and it got to a point where I just thought I just need to do something and get a bit more life experience, really. So I went to Trail Finders and bought this round-the-world ticket. So actually the America part was just the first part of a bigger trip. I bought this round-the-world trip and just madly just went, knowing absolutely nothing really. And I went with this rucksack and just clothes I had and sort of a minimal amount of things, including obviously my tape recorder and my sketchbook. I really wanted to just draw and really make myself draw. So I did have a camera, but I just didn't use it. I just forced myself to just draw everything and write everything down. And I had these basically 2-month Amtrak tickets, which on the Amtrak rail network you could just travel as much as you want. It's because it was a very low budget trip. I just sort of crisscrossed America, so I'd sort of get onto a train in an evening and then travel all night, and then get off somewhere around sort of 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and then spend the day sketching and finding out about the place. So I never knew where I was going to end up and what the climate was going to be like. So one day I'd be in the snow, and then the next day I'd be out in the boiling sun. So I was either getting frozen or sunburnt. Travel does it. They say it broadens the mind, and it certainly does. And I think it sort of influenced my art in seeing all these different kinds of arts as I travelled around. And I remember being very taken with the sort of Native American art, and that was an influence on me, and seeing sort of folk art and things made out of wood, which related to the way I sort of grew up. And I grew up with watching my dad make things, making furniture and carving spoons and turning things on a lathe. And so wood was a material that I always used growing up on the farm, and seeing lots of things made out of wood and sort of made me want to make things and carve things and paint on wood, which I sort of ended up doing. Is a lot of art that I do is using wood and carving into wood and painting on wood, and so that's sort of a passion of mine.
Now, you went to study at the Kent Institute of Art and Design in Maidstone, so you'd already had a proclivity towards art. What made you think, this is it, I want to do it? Was it a career thing, or it just that's the way that your talent and your passion led you?
It was the only thing I wanted to do. So I just lapped it all up and just loved every minute of it, really. It was just a great time. And then obviously at the end of it, I was thinking, what do I do now?
Well, now that's always the thing. I did that with drama school to a certain extent as well. You get training in something you absolutely adore, and then you need to find a way, I suppose, if we're being crass, to well, maybe not crass, sensible, to monetize it. And you've done that. What were your steps to actually going about doing that?
Yeah, I've just done so many different jobs over the years to try and keep the art going. And like I said, I worked in a cinema for several years. And obviously alongside that, I was trying to sort of do the art and do exhibitions and get other freelance work. And then it got to that point of, I'm just going to go and travel and see the world. And then I came back, and again I was sort of travelling, and I worked on a mushroom farm in Devon. And, and then I moved up to London to sort of try and get into the art world in London, which I didn't really. But I ended up being a model maker for children's television, and I worked on a program called the Wombles that you might have heard of.
Oh, did you make Wombles then?
So I didn't make the Wombles, but I made all their little belongings.
Oh, wow.
So I made things for the set. So
Okay.
we'd obviously get the script through, and then the person who was in charge of props would then look through and identify what we had and what we needed, and then I'd say, or it got told, right, you got to make this, and then you'd have to figure out a way of making it and create all the props for the Wombles.
Have you kept them, or did they stay with the production company and end up getting thrown away? Probably.
Yes, they do get. They all get carefully stored away.
Okay.
I did, sneak out one or two little bits. So I've got a few things which I actually use because I ended up going into teaching. I think the whole money side of things got to a bit of a head when I ended up being homeless, right. And I saw an advert on a cinema screen that said, "Do you want $6,000? Those who can teach." And I was thinking, yes, I want $6,000.
Yes, please.
And I signed up for the doing a PGCE, and then I went into teaching, and I did that for around 20 years.
Right.
But then it got to a point, and I wasn't very well, and I thought, I'm going to give the art career another go.
Sure.
And so that was the 2021. So I've been doing it a few years now.
You have?
Sort of full time.
Yeah, and you have your art is displayed in many places, and much of it is around your trip as well. You're sketching America.
Well, that's it. I think it was at that kind of lockdown period when we couldn't go anywhere.
No.
And I've got shelves and shelves of sketchbooks, and I drew on those past travels as inspiration for paintings and artworks. So I think that's where it all began, really, sort of this looking back, because we couldn't go anywhere. So I sort of had to go on holiday in my mind, go travelling in my mind, and then you find it. You get so many more ideas. You sort of look at things and I say, "Oh, I remember that," and lots of places are so vivid in your mind, and because you've got these memories, it also allows you, I think, to be more free and use your imagination more. So I think, my art becomes a bit more abstract and stylized, and
those half-remembered memories, aren't they? We've had ones of you on your bike, if I remember rightly. As a kid, we've had some stuff about you working. We have had an upload about you working in the cinema. I distinctly remember you talking about one. Was it when you're having to clean up the sticky floors and the popcorn, or whatever it is, after the shows? Oh yeah, and putting we had to keep changing the cinema canopy for the newspapers. That's it.
Paula, I love you madly. Marry me, Steve. for all the national newspapers. It started local and then it went national, and it was like, "Oh, can you put it up again? Keep changing it from Jurassic Park to Paula, I love you madly, marry me, Steve."
and that was going viral before things even went viral digitally, wasn't it? So it just goes to show that things don't change. It's just maybe technology does, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Well, do you know what? It's been so lovely to speak to you. I love having your work here on the show. I'm not the only one. Lots of people say it, Giles. If we would like to, it's true. If we would like to come and find your work, or come and find what you do online or physically, how can we go about doing it?
Yeah, I mean, you can find me on Instagram and YouTube and Facebook if you want to see anything online. Currently, I've got artworks in quite a few places. I've got Moot Brewery, which is in Upper Horling. I've got things in the White Studios in West Malling. I've got things in the Greedy Goose, which is in Kings Hill. And I think that's it. I've got open studios coming up, so people can come and meet me. That would be nice.
Yes, indeed.
Come and meet me at open studios, so you can come to my studio, which is another interesting story. Come and see me then. That's happening in June, so you have to look out for the Open Studios booklet or find that online. It's called Southeast Open Studios.
Love it. Giles Whitehead, artist, is you online. It's lovely to speak to you. We could have spoken for many, many hours, and I would implore you, I'm doing the same, to go and meet Giles and really delve into his brain and experience and experience his brilliant art as well. Giles, thank you so much for your time. Lovely to have you on the show as always, and speak to you soon.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Leo.
I'm still